Okay, shit in a fucking box. God fucking damn it. I am truly sorry about that. I don't know how much of this you guys lost out there. I'm truly hoping that this was a continuation of the show. I'm going to do my best to get this up and going. You know what we're going to do right now, though? We are probably going to see about taking ourselves a little break. Because I need to, besides other things, put up some music here, and which really pisses me off because I actually took a little time to pick the music today. So, all right, let's add this music, that music, and that music. And right now we are, in fact, going to take a little break. Sorry for the interruption, you guys, okay? I'll be right back. I'm Joe the Shirt. I'm off the cuff. And here's a little something for you. Okay, and we are back once again with Joe the Shirts off the cuff. I don't know what the fuck just happened. I was just in the middle of broadcasting to all you guys out there, and the whole thing my entire computer just went down. And now honestly, I don't know how much you got. I was talking about James Gandolfini, and the fact that we're all gonna miss him, and the fact that sometime tomorrow, everybody's going to be signing up for gym memberships left and right. Because when somebody famous, somebody that you've heard of, dies at the age of 51, it scares the living fuck right out of you. All right. I truly hope that you guys caught the first part of the show. I was talking about the NBA Finals. Like I said, right now, until I'm done with this segment of the show, the entire show, I have no idea what you've heard or haven't heard. My apologies. Like I said, I don't know what the fuck is going on. I don't remember this happening to me before. I mean, I've had glitches here and there. I've had, times where I didn't realize that I wasn't on the air. But this time, quite literally, the computers just disappeared on me. And now I'm back. Well, we'll see how it goes, won't we? Anyway. It's so annoying when that happens. I did talk about the NBA Finals and what a great series it is this year. Like I said, if it had been up to me, I would not have said the Miami Heat and the San Antonio Spurs in the finals. I would have preferred to have seen the Clippers, to be perfectly honest with you, my new hometown team, because I live in Los Angeles here. I'm not saying that I'm not a Lakers fan, but I'm more of a Clipper fan than a Laker fan because it's easy to be a Laker fan, I mean, you have so many championships, and I mean, championships while I've been living here, and then you have the Clippers who've made the playoffs, 3 times maybe in their entire career. So, it's a lot easier to be a Laker fan. It's easy. It's not a problem. Now, I already did celebrity birthdays for the 19th. I'm going to run through them really quick, just in case that the show didn't air, okay? Paul Abdul is 50. Mo Howard of the Three Stooges. Lou Gehrig, if I have to explain who Lou Gehrig is to you, you don't deserve to know. Felicia Rashad of The Cosby Show is 64. Dirk Nowitzki of the Dallas Mavericks is 34. Robin Tunney of The Mentalist is 40. Gina Rowlands is 82. Kathleen Turner is 58. Salman Rushdie, again, if I have to explain it to you, you don't deserve to know, is 65. And Guy Lombardo of the Auld Lang Syne song shares a birthday today. Also, and now, if you happen to share a birthday on June 20th, he shared that birthday with Nicole Kidman, who's 45. Lionel Richie is 63. Brian Wilson from the Beach Boys is 70. John Goodman is 60. Danny Aiello is 79. Movie legend Errol Flynn is dead. Martin Landau is 84. Olympia Dukakis is 81. Robert Rodriguez, director, is 44. You may remember him from Desperado, Machete, and From Dusk Till Dawn, director on all those movies. Let's see. And Coco B. Ware of the old WWF is 55 years old. Also, John Mahoney is 72. If you wonder who John Mahoney is, he played the dad on Frasier. And he's another one of those guys who are like, he's actually gay, and I had no idea. I mean, I watched that guy, and I was like, really, that guy's gay? And and then was it David Hyde Pierce? I've heard rumors that he's also gay, but you watch the show, that wasn't exactly a shocker to anybody. But Mahoney, definitely a shocker. Oh my God. So this is the midnight time for a homicide show again. As I have to reiterate here because I don't know what you guys heard and what you didn't. I call it that show because I'm a big Ice-T fan. Back in the day when I was growing up, back in the 80s and the 90s, I used to listen to Ice-T all the time. New Jack City. It was just such fantastic stuff. Just a very different way of doing rap music. It went beyond just being gangster. It was storytelling. It was a rhythm to it. It was an attitude, and it wasn't just simply a pop kind of vibe to it. He had something to say, where so many other rappers at that time were just trying to rhyme. So that really put it in perspective for me. And another reason I call it the midnight show time for homicide is because, over there on the East Coast, well, it's after midnight. It's actually about 1 in the morning over there, about 2 hours till midnight here on the West Coast. Thank you for listening. I'm Joe the Shirt. I'm off the cuff. This is what I do. Like I always say, to keep the demons at bay. Hey, it's what I do. Let's see, what else have we got to talk about? The other day I was talking about places to go on vacation, about cheap places, expensive places to go on vacation. Here in the U.S., the most economical vacation spot, at least when it comes to hotels and flights and all that good stuff, is still Las Vegas, Nevada, one of my favorite cities in the whole fucking world. Love Las Vegas. Me and my girlfriend, we are perfectly matched when it comes to Las Vegas because there's something about being with somebody that understands who you are, you understand who they are, and you guys mesh so well together that you don't need to be with each other or all the time, I mean, when we go to Vegas, it's a very simple plan, We pack the night before, we pack our clothes, we pack our shoes, we pack our booze, because we bring booze with us, because, I'm not about to start paying, like $8 a bottle for that little minibar bullshit, okay? No. There's a bottle of tequila, there's a bottle of vodka, and there's a bottle of rum in our bags. In a cooler, there's a fucking 18-pack of beer, and there's Diet Coke and Sprite. I mean, guaranteed. That's what we're doing. And that's how we roll in Vegas. And, she likes to play her video poker. I like to play real poker. I like to play blackjack. We like to see shows together. The other two things we do separately most of the time. I'll sometimes play video slots with her, like video poker and shit, and get my ass kicked. I mean, I'll easily lose like $100 in a half hour or less. Whereas, for that exact same amount of money, I could play for like 2.5 to 3 hours at a poker game where I have a chance of actually making money. But, but we don't have to be together all the time. That's a nice thing about her. And we enjoy going to the pools. We enjoy staying at the Rio because they have the topless pool there. So I can see all the titty I want and nobody can say shit to me. It's very nice. Now, I came up upon a new list recently, though, that had like what they consider the top 10 vacation cities of the world with high crime rates. Now, I'm not saying don't go to these cities. I'm just saying, keep an eye out for yourself. I mean, let's not be a stupid American when we go on vacation, okay? You go out there, realize where you are, understand your surroundings, all right? And just to let you know, the number 10 city that they mention here is Las Vegas, tied with New Orleans. Now, New Orleans they put in there because people go there for Mardi Gras, you know, and they go there, they get drunk, they have a good time, there's lots of money flowing all over the place, and a lot of the homegrown pickpockets and muggers are waiting for your ass, all right? Especially when you consider that during Mardi Gras, the average American male, or just let's just say male, the average male has 16 alcoholic drinks a night. Now, if that's not a prime crime victim, I don't know who is. Now, tied with New Orleans is obviously Las Vegas. Lots of money, lots of booze, lots of tourists. Boom, there's a good chance you're going to be a victim of crime there. Now, going back up the list, number 9, if you happen to be going to South Africa, Cape Town. Again, big for pickpockets, muggers, just keep an eye on yourself. Lima, Peru comes in at number 8. Number 7 is Rio de Janeiro, Brazil. Again, when it comes to Carnival there, boom, you're going to get fucked. Just to let you know. Naples, Italy. Amsterdam, Netherlands. Which makes sense, though, because, everybody's drunk and high off their ass all day long. It's kind of easy. But some of you... Now, the last 4 cities may surprise you. We're talking about high crime rates against tourists. London, England, Rome, Italy, Paris, France, Barcelona, Spain coming in at number 1 with an average of 10% of all tourists are attacked in some criminal way, and a third of those attacks result in success for the criminals. So, 10% of you are going to be attacked in some way or another, and about a third of those 10% attacked, you're gonna lose your money. You're gonna lose your money, your purse, your wallet, photo equipment, your iPhone. Just be careful. That's all I'm saying out there. That's all I'm saying. Oh my God. Try not to think of these things, but it's hard not to. In any case, right now we're going to take a little bit of a break because I've actually been talking and conversing with you guys for almost 25 minutes now, and my voice can take a break, and I can definitely use more tequila. In any case, I'll be right back. Today's music is, by default, because of the unintended break, is from Oh No, Not the Stereo. Their first song that you heard earlier was 12 Years Later, and this is their next one, Can't Trust Anyone. I'll be right back.
Struggle with words to define how they get under
Okay, welcome back once again to Joe Shirts Off the Cuff. My God, excuse the noise. I had to go pop some Advil. I got a headache for having to deal with all this bullshit. Now, one of the things I wanted to talk to you guys about today was something that happened earlier on today. Actually, before I even get to that, I'm jumping around because my plan has been thrown off. I don't like it when that happens. I want to talk a little bit, actually, really quick to you about something I talked about last week, which was the video game console wars, which have been heating up a lot lately with the Wii U coming out last year and the new Xbox One and PS4 coming out just before Christmas this year. I talked a lot about how Xbox One was going to have a lot of issues that I said they were going to have to correct. They're going to have to fix that. Otherwise, everybody's going to jump straight over to the PS4. Okay, I'm very happy with my PS3, and when the time comes that I want to get a PS4, a new console, I'm getting a PS4. All right, and the reason for that was because the Xbox One had a few problems that I didn't care for. One of them being that you needed to connect the Xbox One to the internet at least once every 24 hours, which is a little bit annoying. Of course, the other option being that it was connected to the internet all the time, which of course would give the Xbox One and any of its little partner companies constant information on your viewing habits, your playing habits, your music habits, what commercials you watched or didn't watch, and then it would formulate a plan to send you commercials that were geared strictly towards you, and it was a Big Brother kind of thing happening, and I didn't care for it at all, and apparently a lot of other hardcore gamers didn't either. So Xbox One has decided that, you know what? Okay, you don't have to do that. We're not going to force you to click in once every 24 hours, or the other side of that being we're not going to force you to keep it on connected to the internet 100% of the time. As a matter of fact, we don't need you to even have an internet, which is a good thing because more often than not, I'm not online when I play video games. I'm playing with myself. That came out wrong. Okay, but but it still applies. Most of the time when I'm playing video, I'm playing by myself. I'm just having a good time. One of the things I've always loved about video games is I don't need another human being to be there for me to enjoy myself. Basically, it's masturbation for my brain. That's what video games are for me, okay? It's masturbation for the brain, and that's how I use it. So the whole being online thing was never attractive to me. Let's see what else. Another thing that they've decided on is originally Xbox was planning on giving their second-party game developers the option of making their video games non-transferable to other people, so that if you happen to have the newest hot video game of this, that, or the other thing, and your buddy of yours said, "Hey, can I borrow that?" Well, the answer would be no, because you were required to take that game, register it with your own special secret code onto your Xbox, and if you loaned it to one of your friends, it wouldn't work, because even if they had your super secret code, they couldn't play it because it wasn't on your Xbox. It would be on their Xbox. So Xbox has taken that away as well. They've now said, okay, you know what? You can lend your games. You can sell your games. It's not a problem. We're not going to. And I'm like, well, yeah, duh, asshole. I mean, basically, when they came out with those announcements, I'm like, wow, way to just give Sony everything. Way to go. Way to go for it. I mean, nobody was happier by this announcement than Sony PlayStation, okay? But apparently that won't be the case anymore. A lot of stuff going on in the business world lately, actually. A lot of stuff that... It seems to be that more and more big companies are trying to fuck us over more and more. And they're trying to do it in a lot more subversive ways, a lot more illegal ways, and a lot more, I'm going to say it, more like third country sort of ways. All right? Give you an example of McDonald's. There was a McDonald's, I think it was in Portland, Oregon. Don't quote me on where it was. But what they were doing was they were paying their employees with debit cards. Okay? So what would happen is, whenever payday came along, they would either give their employees a debit card, or I think they added money to the debit card, and then that employee could use this debit card as money, as cash, wherever it is they wanted to go. Here was the problem. Whenever these employees used their debit card, there was a $1.50 fee attached to it. Okay? If the debit card went over, there was a $5 fee onto it. And if you wanted to take out money, they charged you money for taking out money. Now, it's not illegal to pay somebody in a debit card form, but you have to inform them that what the fees are, and you have to give them options. In the state that they were working in, employees had the option of taking the debit card, taking a check, or taking cash with the appropriate taxes already taken out of their pay, which was already happening on the debit card. The taxes were already taken out on the debit card, but now they were adding fees on top of that. So either the banks were benefiting from them, or McDonald's themselves were benefiting from this nasty little system that they put into place, where they weren't giving the employees the options that they were entitled to. Sounds like shit, right? It gets worse, actually, when it comes to 7-Eleven. There were several 7-Elevens who were hiring illegal immigrants, which is not uncommon. I don't know if you've ever been to your local 7-Eleven, but Ken and Barbie are not working there most of the time. So what was happening was these guys were 7-Eleven was hiring these illegal immigrants to work at their stores for below minimum wage, and then forcing them to live in apartment complexes owned by the 7-Eleven franchise owners. So these guys paid them less than the legal limit, and then forced them to live in their apartments only. And if they didn't cooperate with how things were done at these particular 7-Elevens, they risked being deported. Way to go, America. Way to go. There you go. Once again, proving that we are just as scummy as anybody else on the fucking planet. And then it continues. Now, I don't know if I brought this up the other day, but apparently insurance companies, who I know we all love and just can't get enough of, they're the best, human beings on the planet, have been under investigation lately because apparently they are not doing what they're supposed to do, what they're legally supposed to do when it comes to, say, a death. Now, so here's the deal, okay? There's a case where a man died. Now, for many, many years, he'd been paying money into his insurance policy. Month after month after month after month after month, he had a life insurance policy that he was paying into, and then he died. Now, his daughter was supposed to get this money. She was the sole recipient of this money. She was the sole blood relative, the only one entitled to this money. The daughter did not know that her father had died. The daughter obviously did not know that he had an insurance policy. What happened was a third party, a company, called her and told her that her father had in fact died and that she was entitled to not a huge amount, $11,000, but that they would help her recover this money for a 10% fee, $1,000 basically, $1,100. Not illegal, by the way. What this company is doing is not illegal, but it's also unnecessary because the U.S. government already provides for this. I really do hope I can find this. If you guys are out there and you ever wonder to yourself, is there any way that I may be entitled to some money from someone else died? You know what? Well, if you live in California, you can go on the website claimit.ca.gov. That's claimit.ca.gov. They'll ask you for some basic information. You punch it in there, and they will tell you whether or not you're entitled to any money from anybody that may have died, a relative of yours, a friend, an old lover, an ex-husband, an ex-wife. The government will already do it for you for free. Now, what Prudential was doing, and this is especially scummy, is not only did they not go out of their way to inform this woman that her father had died and that she was entitled to his insurance, not only did they not, at the very least, hand over the money to the state officials for 3 years after the parent's account was deemed inactive, but instead what they did was, month after month, they kept taking money out of his account and paying into his insurance policy, even though they knew he was dead. They knew that they should be giving this money to somebody else, but they drained the account that they were drawing it from. It was set on automatic so that every month a certain amount of money was taken out of his bank account and paid to the insurance company. And they did this until they drained the account. This took roughly 3 years. Very nice. And I hope they get the living shit sued right out of them. It's amazing to me. It's absolutely amazing to me, A lot of people will tell you that, it's your job to find out if anybody owes you money. And I get that. I'm fine with that. But it's also the insurance company's job to not charge somebody that they know is dead. They should have, legally, what they should have done was stop charging the account and put it in a trust given to the state for 3 years. And then after that, if nobody claims it, then, money's theirs, or it goes to the state, or it goes to whoever. But at least, give somebody the chance to make a legal claim on it. Very, very nice. What else have we got? A lot of stuff going on these days. Now, there was a man in Orange County, that's here in California, who just this past Friday was sentenced for the rape of a 16-year-old girl who he attacked as she walked home from a fast food restaurant in 2008. This was Juan Humberto Avila, 36 years old, of Santa Ana. He was convicted, sent to prison for, now, either 363 years to life. $363 years to life. What, are we living in fucking biblical times here? I heard Adam and Eve lived a pretty long time, and Enoch lived to be about 967 years old, but I think those times have come and gone. Now, you may wonder to yourself, why not just say life? Because the world's oldest man died last week. He died at about the age of 116 years old. A far cry from 363, which if, Humberto did make it to 363 years in prison, would make him 399 years old, and then he could get out on parole. Or we could keep him for life. Now, the reason they do this is the idea that, everybody, people are entitled to, if, on good behavior, they may be eligible for parole and not have to spend their entire lives in prison. A lot of times they'll do this because they'll run the sentences consecutively as opposed to concurrently. Now, I don't know about you guys, but this concept confused me when I was a kid. Now, sentences run consecutively, it means one after the other. You're sentenced to 100 years in prison for, say, 10 different crimes. So, 10 years each, that means you serve 10 years for this crime, 10 years for that crime, 10 years for this crime. Now, if you serve 100 years concurrently for 10 different crimes, that means you're serving all 10 years all at the same time. So it's 10 years in prison for all the crimes together. That's concurrently. I had the toughest time with this when I was growing up. So if you guys had any doubts on this, don't feel any dumber than I did. All right? We're going to take another break, and we'll be right back with more Joe the Shirts Off the Cuff. And here is another song from Oh No, Not the Stereo, Can't Trust Anyone. Welcome back once again to Joe the Shirts Off the Cuff. Welcome back, everybody. It is the midnight time for a homicide show again. Oh my God. A little personal news for you guys. I'm thinking of joining a dodgeball league. I know that sounds ridiculous. It does to me, because I saw the movie Dodgeball, much to my chagrin, and I thought it was entirely just a joke, but there really are dodgeball leagues. And according to this and the LA Times, if you're interested in playing on a WeHo dodgeball team, go to wehododgeball.com and check out the registration page to sign up for the new Tuesday night Buddy Draw League, which begins June 18th. That was yesterday. You can also register to be a substitute player on either Tuesday or Thursdays, another great avenue for beginning players. For other Los Angelinos area dodgeball teams, go to www.dodgeballforever.com. I actually might do this, because it's right here in my neighborhood in West Hollywood here. It's active, it's exercise, it's social, yeah. And if I understand, it's the softer, non-sting kind of dodgeballs, So, and then afterwards, everybody goes over for wings and beer at the local bar. So, that sounds good to me. Okay. Now, something that caught my eye this morning, actually the very first thing that caught my eye this morning was comedian Russell Brand. You may know Russell Brand, British comedian. He starred in the remake of Arthur. And I saw it. Didn't love it. I've seen him before. He's a funny enough guy. Not the funniest comic on the planet, in my opinion, but that's my humble opinion. It's up to you if you like him or not. But he was on a morning talk show this morning called Morning Joe or Morning Cup of Joe or some inane bullshit like that, wherein he was facing off against the three co-hosts or anchors or whatever the fuck you want to call them. And he laid them to waste, okay? He destroyed these people. He embarrassed them on television for almost 10 minutes. You know, a lot of this arose from what Russell Brand himself said was rude behavior, wherein he, the host were talking about him as if he wasn't in the room. So instead of referring to him as Russell, they're referring to him as he or him in that brand. So instead of saying, you know, Russell's a really funny guy, they would say something like, he's a really funny guy. And he interrupted them and said, you know, that's really rude of you to speak of me as if I'm not here, as if as if I'm just a glorified object. And you know, he laid into him. He just tore them apart. And then proceeded to do their job better than they did, you know, because, you know, he made fun of the fact that they're supposed to be news people reporting the news, which they're not. They're just, you know, they're daytime talk show hosts. You know, it's like Good Day LA or whatever, you know, Good Morning America or whatever other bullshit TV morning show people like to watch. That's basically what it is. It's not hard-hitting news, okay? You know, if your show can be compared to anything that Al Roker's on, it's not hard hitting, okay? But he just, you know, he destroyed them. And a lot of people were talking about this on the blogosphere, on the internet, on Facebook. Even friends of mine, my friend Helena Elko mentioned, put it up on her Facebook page. And by the way, I still haven't gotten my invite to your wedding there, Helena and Paul. Thanks. Really appreciate that. Anyway, and a lot of people were really upset with the anchors because they felt like they were being assholes to Russell Brand, that they were being truly rude to him and just being very dismissive with him. And I think a lot of you missed the point entirely of what was going on, what it was you were watching. Russell Brand is a stand-up comic. Do you really believe that referring to him as he is truly going to offend him? Do you really think that? I mean, Russell Brand is not known for being the most polite human being on the planet. I mean, he was on this TV show and he was being incredibly impolite to his host. The average person would have dismissed it or not even thought of it, more than likely. It wouldn't have occurred to them. Now, by the strictest definition, were they being rude by referring to him as he instead of by his name, Russell? Yes, they were. By the strictest definition, they were being rude. But it is by far not among the most common pieces of rudeness that people have when it comes to having a conversation with another human being. Typically speaking, the most common rude act in a conversation is interruption. Is interrupting somebody when they're speaking, which Russell proceeded to do a great deal. Why? Not because he was offended. I don't believe that Russell Brand was offended in any way, shape, or form by anything these people had to say. If he was offended by anything they had to say, then he's not the comic he thinks he is. And I do believe he is the comic he thinks he is. I think he's very talented. Like I said, not always my cup of tea, but I've seen him before and I've enjoyed his stuff. But he has a new tour coming up, referring to messianic complexes, where he talks about figures like Gandhi or Jesus or Martin Luther King and how we turn them into these icons and how we ascribe certain values to these icons that they didn't necessarily believe in. They didn't necessarily espouse themselves, which I think is a fascinating concept. I love the idea. But if you believe for even a second that Russell Brand didn't calculatingly plan this U-boat assault on these people, then you are not smart enough to be watching TV or being on the internet, okay? You're just not. Man's got a new tour coming up, which will most likely end up on a cable special, HBO or whatever. And for him to go on this show and be nice and polite, enjoy his cup of joe, would not do him any benefit whatsoever. Okay, nobody gives a fuck about the guy that was on, the morning bullshit talk show, and he was nice and he was polite, and he went along with the inane chatter and forced his compliments and whatnots on everybody, just like everybody else is. Nobody gives a shit about that guy. That's not an edgy comic. That's not an interesting comic. That's not a comic you want to watch. It's not a comic I want to watch. And for those of you who are watching this and writing about it and ascribing all this great social commentary that he was making, he wasn't. Okay? He was not making any social commentary. He was he was completely just, just ripping open the chinks in these people's armors and just ripping it open and just barreling into them, he was just torpedoing them left and right. And that's what a great comic does. He gets into a situation that he knows he could turn to his advantage, and he destroys. I mean, it's no different than when a comic is up on stage and he looks for the person in the audience that he knows his ass he can kick, and he can use him to his advantage. And then at the end of the show, he apologizes to him. He'll say, "Hey, thank you for being a good sport." That's no different than what Russell did earlier today or yesterday morning. I'm sorry, if you believe otherwise, you are missing the point. 1,000 people can watch the exact same piece of art and come away with 1,000 different interpretations of what the artist meant. 1,000 people can listen to Russell Brand's jokes or his rants or his show today on Morning Cup of Joe and come away with 1,000 different interpretations of what it was he meant to do. He referred to the host as superficial and only looking on what was superficial instead of concentrating on what was on the inside. But the simple fact is, he wasn't showing them what was on the inside. He was giving them the superficial to give them something to latch onto so then he could just turn around and put the smackdown on them. He was baiting them. So please understand, that's nothing against Russell Brand. I think it's genius. It's a smart move. It gets him talked about. It gets people on his side. It gets people, he may not be invited back to that show ever again. But I think he achieved his goal, which was a little notoriety, and it's really no different than what Ricky Gervais did when he was hosting, the Emmys? He did that like 2 or 3 times, and people were pissed off, because he was being himself. He was being incisive. He was being sharp. He was being cutting. He was digging into, Hollywood royalty, and they didn't like it. And I was thinking to myself, you never saw his act before? A little quick piece of interesting trivia. Ricky Gervais and Russell Brand share the same birthday. So, I won't tell you what day it is because it's coming up. But yeah, don't hire somebody to do a certain job and then get pissed off at them when they do it. Don't bring somebody like Russell Brand on your show and be surprised when they make you look like a monkey. If anything, I get pissed off at comedians when they allow themselves to be cowed by a guest or by the host. Best example I've ever seen of this was when Angelina Jolie was on the Jay Leno show, also known as the Tonight Show, way back when, and she gave him attitude, and he backed down, and I had never been more ashamed of him in my entire life. Quite honest with you. So yeah. The social commentary that you think Russell Brand was making, no, he wasn't. Go back, watch that video again, and I think you'll understand what it is I'm talking about. In any case, you know what? That's my time. I'm done. I gotta go. All right? And I'm going to leave you this time once again with Oh No, Not the Stereo and their song, Eyes on the Kids. Thank you for listening to the Midnight Time for a Homicide show. Again, I'm Joe the Shirt. I've been off the cuff. I'll talk to you later.